Hi, it's Sunday, December 23rd, 2012. Not as good a day as yesterday or the day before. Not sure exactly what's wrong. One thing I was going to do that I haven't done yet is call my mom. Something happened to a friend of hers in the past 2 weeks, which I understand was very traumatic for her. I talked to my brother a little bit about it. He told me I should give her a call. I guess I'm just worried. I don't know what to say. I'm not very good at distracting my mom, because my life is not really exciting, so I don't have a whole lot I could tell her, which probably isn't true. If I really put the effort into it, I could probably tell her. I could just talk to her about things I've been doing here, conversations I've had with my niece, with my grandnieces. I made the effort. Something would come out of it. I guess I'm just worried that I'll not be what she needs, not say something that I should say. I have the same concern about tonight. There's a family dinner. My eldest niece is home, and I don't know what to say to some of my relatives there. My eldest nephew's birthday was recently, so that's why we're all getting together to have dinner. And another niece and nephew of mine are their birthday is tomorrow. So it shouldn't be, a time of really heavy conversation or, weighty, stressful things, but there's just so much going on with everybody that's just major life changes and things that need to be talked about, but they're not being openly discussed with everyone there. They're sort of being talked about without everyone present, without everyone really ready to talk about it. I shouldn't even be thinking about these things. It shouldn't even matter, right? I should just be concerned with myself and my own problems and not care what people are saying about me behind my back. And I really don't. I've learned that as long as I'm okay with something, what other people think about it is important, but it's not going to crush me. It's not going to change how I feel. My motivations for doing things. It's nice when there's transparency. It's nice when there's openness, honesty, when someone's ready to just feel something, talk about something, think about it, face it. Who am I to talk, right? Which was the major reason why I signed on, made an account on YouTube, and it's because I was moved by somebody else talking about their experience, talking about what it was like for her to be a child dealing with psychosis and hallucinations, and that was what inspired me. I watched this video about her that was on a news channel and that her family member had uploaded to YouTube, and I started crying watching it, because it's suddenly like, okay, so I'm not the only person who has been through something that is totally changed the course of my life, and I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know what to do. I was scared. Children are very unforgiving. let's just say I enjoyed spending time with my brothers a lot more than with kids at school or friends of mine, because I like my brothers. I felt like I understood them. I felt like they understood me and cared about me. But you show certain sides of yourself to other people, especially kids your own age who aren't mature. And the brothers that I'm closest to in age and temperament, uh, they were 4 years older than me and 8 years older than me, so they're more mature than the kids I went to school with, that's for sure. And I'm the youngest kid in my family, and my parents are really old-fashioned. I don't mind it. I like it, but I was just used to being around this culture of very mature people, And if they were feeling a certain way, they weren't afraid to show it. By the time I was born, my parents had they had their well-balanced, personality development, pretty much most of it taken care of. Obviously, they continued to mature after I was born, but, there's a lot of things that I didn't have to deal with that I guess some people born to younger parents do. Hurdles I didn't have to jump because they'd already been jumped between my parents and other siblings, and learning how to, deal with quirks and personalities, of course. I honestly don't know if any if any of my siblings have the same personality. It seems like they're different from each other. Like, none of us we have similarities, but none of us is the same exact, which is nice. But it was a relief to watch a video on YouTube about someone who'd been through the same things I had. So I like openness, I like honesty, I like clarity, especially after so many years of feeling like no one was going to understand. No one could understand. So that was a breakthrough for me, and that was 2011 April that I just started crying and realized, I've been trying to repress this part of my history, my life, my youth, but it's a part of me, and I need to just accept it already. I need to stop thinking like I can outrun it, thinking like, because I still had some very major issues at the time that I realized were going to make or break me. So I had to pick one. I had to pick, is this going to make or break me? It's my call. It's nobody else's call. It's my call. And that's a really hard decision to come to when your whole life you feel like you don't call the shots, that you have to conform to other people's expectations, or they will ostracize you. They will make you feel horrible for being yourself because they just don't have the compassion or the capacity for empathy. They don't really care. Maybe now that they're older, they've changed. Maybe they've become more accepting or understanding or patient, or I don't know. That's really their life and their business. But I decided that I was either going to let myself be destroyed or have to face what had happened to me instead of feeling like I was a victim, feeling like I was powerless, feeling like, why should I have to acknowledge and deal with this? I didn't ask for this. Do sex joke. I'm sorry, that's a video game. What was that person laughing about? Anyway, for a long time, my family members just accepted things about me, and just when there were arguments or disagreements or emotional conflicts, sort of say, well, that's just the way she is, that's just who she is. And a part of that make or break moment was me going, well, no, that's not who I am. That's a layer of crap covering who I am it's not me, it's something that was limiting my ability to genuinely be who I am. And I got sick of it. I got sick of people saying things about me that just weren't. They weren't. That was the layer. That was the layer, the filter that my mental health issues had put on me. And so I had to, confess to myself, well, what is real? I can't discredit what other people think or feel is me, because their perception is important. How I behave, what I say, what I do affects them, whether it's the way I wanted it to or not. It's affecting them, and I am in control of what I say, what I do, what I don't do. And I confronted all these times that I had said something, done something, not done something, and I still felt regret or guilt about it. And I just had to say I couldn't put all the blame on my mental health issues, like, oh yeah, that's because I had bipolar disorder with psychotic features. Yeah, that was the illness's fault. No. Sure, I didn't know what was going on. I wasn't fully aware of what was going on. I remember watching a video of a guy talking to, he said he talked to his doctor, and the doctor said there's no way that you could have this mental illness because they aren't aware. They aren't aware that anything's wrong with them. The fact that you have this this presence of mind to know something's amiss or off about you is, to the doctor, that was just a clear sign that there was no way that the person could have schizophrenia or psychosis. And the term for that is agnosia, I think. Agnosia. I'm sorry. I don't remember how it's spelled or how to say it, but, and it is true. There is a sort of, there's blinders on, but it depends on the person how pervasive this deniability is in their life, or how willing they are to be aware that something is off, something's different, their thinking is not entirely rational, it's not entirely neurotypical, what have you. So yeah, there was a little bit of deniability in that. If I did my best to behave as if nothing were wrong, then I would never give anyone additional suspicion to treat me any worse than they already had, or to threaten me in any kind of way, to call me any worse names than they already had, because I was such a quiet, just strange, odd person. Very creative, very smart, but I wasn't behaving like everybody else wanted me to, like they expected me to, and that scared them. That was weird. So yeah, I thought if I did my best to be normal, I could get by, and I wouldn't ever risk anyone taking me away from my family. I wouldn't risk anyone ever thinking that I had to be medicated. I wrote papers on psychiatric drugs in high school, and going over all the side effects, it just seemed so nonsensical. If this is really something wrong with a person, why would you give them a drug that causes all these other side effects and doesn't even completely help them recover? It bothered me a lot. So I told my parents that I never wanted to be put on an antidepressant drug, because I thought at the time that my issue was just depression. It didn't occur to me that I might have, any type of bipolar or cyclothymia, anything like that. But it was very obvious that I had, depression at least, but I didn't understand my euphoric moments as the other side of the coin, the other end of the spectrum. I just thought it was, finally the depression's lifted and I can just, be myself, but really I was not understanding it for what it was, and it was a relief, and it was I was happy, and I felt like I could breathe again. I felt like I could enjoy life again, and that was refreshing. You know, enjoy it as long as it lasted, because you never know when it was, things would come crashing down again. So it took me, you know, my whole life to realize my family does love me. I mean, it's something I knew, but it wasn't something that I really let overwhelm me with just their protectiveness and their willingness to listen. And they've probably been through some things, right, that I wasn't aware of at the time, or probably still am not aware of. So I had to give them that, you know, that benefit of the doubt too, and say, well, there's things that they've gone through that could be the same or similar to what I've gone through. And yeah, life wasn't perfect. Life wasn't a can of sunshine. Because when you inherit these kinds of vulnerabilities, predispositions, risks of developing mental health issues, it's, yeah. If it spares someone in your family, it's that's really a blessing. That's really a fortunate thing that, you know, they didn't have to go through that. So watching that video of, her name is Brooke Katz. She's a registered nurse. I don't know, it's been a while since I've read anything about her or heard her publicly speak. So I don't know if she's advanced in her career as a nurse or where she's at right now. It doesn't really matter. I just know that she really inspired me to just accept that it was okay to talk about it. It was okay to feel basically all those emotions, not just, you know, fear or anxiety, but also like let the fatigue wash over you and stop carrying the burden, cut the weight, set it down,